A lot of writing, so
Okay.
There you go.
have to read it all. But yeah,
You don't have to read it out loud. You can skim it. I like it.
Aww.
We like
That was
mail.
so sweet. Thank you. I love mail. That's not bills.
Don't send bills.
No.
This episode is made possible by our therapy partners, Dirty B and Pickets.
Picket!
From fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Pod Therapy. Real people, real problems, and real therapists. You can submit your questions anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. And now, broadcasting from the churn, that's Jim, that's Whitney, I'm Nick. It's time for some Pod Therapy.
Hello!
You posted a little throwback this week on the IG.
Oh,
so
yeah.
cute. From 2018 when I was
Oh,
first on the
that's
podcast.
right.
Oh, yeah.
It was so sweet.
Yeah, thank you, Whitney, for remembering that.
Yeah.
So, to the regular audience, if you follow us on our socials, we always at the end of the show tell you where you can follow us. On Instagram, we're at PodTherapyGuys. Sorry, Whitney. And I was going through, I think it was like a memories on my Google Photos.
Yeah.
And it was 2018, April 2018, only 4 months into this project. I think it was our 8th
Y'all were
episode.
such
or somewhere around. No, it had to be deeper than that. Probably 16th episode then because we did 4 a month. But yeah, Whitney showed up and was our first guest. I think
Second, I believe.
Who was our first?
There was
Sydney.
someone before. Yeah.
Was Sydney our first?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that was at Level 9 Studios, and we got Scott to take a picture of us, and that randomly popped up on my Google Memories, and I was like, oh shit, that's us, that's so cute. And so yeah, I grabbed a picture, and there we are.
I know.
So,
I think it's on my grid, my Instagram grid
Oh,
from
is
when
it?
it happened.
Oh, from when it happened.
Gosh. Yeah,
Oh, that's
I'd have to
so
go back
funny.
and see, but I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah.
So cute.
We were so young and full of hope.
And someone asked a good question I almost asked. I'm like, why are y'all so dressed up?
Yeah,
I was like, why
yeah.
are they?
Somebody was
Oh,
like, they're
because-
really dressed up for a podcast
Yeah.
back then.
Jim's
'Cause
wearing
we-
like a vest and
Yeah.
like a
We
tie.
recorded during our lunch break.
Yep.
That's why.
At
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
Wasn't
No.
that studio
What
over
people
kind of by
don't
the
know-
Orleans?
Yeah,
Like,
kind of. It's
nearby,
like,
or-
yeah, it's, because actually it's near, very
down
close to
there.
the Rio.
It was right next to
Rio.
that
It was the
Blackout Dining.
Yeah.
Blackout
yeah.
restaurant. Literally
Yeah.
right next to it.
Yeah.
It's moved since. But what a lot of people don't know is that right now we're all wearing formal dress wear. It's a formal show.
No one can see.
We take it very seriously. And that will only change once
Well, we've got
Jacob
a lot more listeners
installs the
now.
cameras.
This is
Now we got to take
Three
it
of us
very...
are in tuxedos. One of us is wearing a cape.
You have to guess.
you decide.
You decide.
Now, if it does seem today that we're rushed, that we're in a hurry to get through these questions,
We all got shit to do, Nick.
do
I
have
don't know,
some
I don't know
really
what you
important shit
got going on.
You
but
know what's really interesting?
I got shit to do.
Here's
Oh
what's
my
really
gosh.
funny.
Yeah.
I'm notorious. I'm very well known for never carrying cash. I actually had some cash in my billfold today.
Oh, yeah?
I took it out and I left it at home.
Got to get rid of that.
Because
Yeah.
I was like,
added
I
some.
won't need this.
I
I'm
added
driving
some.
illegally. I left my wallet at home. I don't care.
I hate
Not
you all.
relevant.
I had cash in my wallet. I just held it out my window as I was driving here and let it go.
Yeah.
Said, I won't be needing this.
Yeah.
How will I eat this evening?
No.
You may be asking
I
yourself.
factory restarted
I
my
brought beer.
phone to
That's-
make sure I didn't have any payment apps on there.
Yeah.
Just nuked it. Just factory restart. Go
I
back to
called my
zero.
bank and told them I died.
Well, nobody's going to top that. I think that's the end of that. Excuse me, is this Jacob Smith? Yes. What's your PIN, sir? and what did you need to tell us? I am deceased. Please cancel all my accounts.
Why did y'all do that? I kept my wallet and I even added money to mine.
Damn good thing. I hope you did. Because I'm hungry. Because today,
What are you hungry for, Jim?
sushi
You'll
reckoning.
Yeah.
Sushi reckoning.
Raw fish in the form of payment.
Naked
excited.
ladies, raw fish.
Okay, what?
We're going to the go-go dancer sushi place,
Hash
right?
House a Go-Go?
Yeah, the Iowa sushi place.
The sushi of Iowa.
Oh, I hope that's a thing. That would be such a funny
I was thinking
thing.
about this. We were laughing about this last week. So yeah, we're going tonight to eat sushi so that Whitney can
Sushi
clear her
redemption.
conscience
And her debts.
and her debts. Because in this town, you do not welch on your bets. You don't do it.
No,
You don't do
I
it.
know how bets go.
That's
Small
right.
town.
I'm married to a gambler.
So yeah, we're going to go do that. But I was thinking about it because we were joking last week about eating sushi off of a naked person.
Yes.
Person.
Out of the 4 people in this room, I believe Jim would be overcome with anxiety
Oh, God.
and terror.
Oh, yeah. No.
If we
Good
walked
thing
him
I
in
set
this
that up
evening,
out back.
I would start
walked him in
crying.
this evening
Yeah.
to an establishment that did this, I don't know that he'd be able to move enough to leave.
Jim feels embarrassed looking at him.
Yeah,
just
he's
thinking
turning
about
red
it.
right now
Like,
just talking about
I'm
it.
just
Yeah.
trying to imagine how right he is, because it is
Very.
100%
I'm
right.
picturing just that terrified stream of
Oh.
urine running down your leg.
Was it 4 adults or 3 and a? Who's the crying man? Is the crying man
Who's
with you?
Is he with the-
inconsolable person in the corner?
Was he going to join you? Yeah, he might. I don't know. Just leave his chair open. He might. We just might ask you to walk out and check on him every couple of minutes. The man crying in the parking lot, is he with you? Yes.
Man suffering full paralysis?
Okay, so we're not going to Naked Lady Sushi then.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I'm fine with it because I'm happy to watch Jim just be uncomfortable
I would
all
do
night.
it. I would do it.
there is no such thing though, right? This doesn't exist.
Guess she'll find out later.
We've talked about it
Now
existing.
I'm scared. No, you've said that it exists in the sense that Jacob Smith is capable of assembling that.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
Therefore, it exists.
Yeah.
it exists.
Yeah.
I could
That's
see
all
that
I
as-
said.
Yeah, that could be like a solid Jacob birthday party. I could see that.
Yeah. It wasn't for a birthday party. It was for a bachelor party.
Oh, that's right. That's right. You did do this.
Yeah.
Okay. Now I
Like it
remember.
wasn't for
Yeah,
my
Now I
birthday.
remember. Well, I'm glad to eat some free sushi. That
Yeah,
will be fun.
enjoy.
Yep. Let's get this on. Let's get
Yeah, let's
going.
just knock this
All
shit
right.
out. Yeah. Okay. Question number 1.
Just
How
to
do I
be
get free
clear,
sushi?
At the all-you-can-eat places, I order a la carte.
That wasn't a stipulation in the
He doesn't
contract
even
I
order
signed.
by the
It is.
roll.
Also, just so you know,
One piece at a time.
it's just tradition. The very first roll that gets served, we just throw on the floor.
That's right. I want the best.
And then we reorder.
Yeah.
Step on it. Spit in it. No one can eat it.
There is the question of where to go, because I was thinking
Yeah, we
about this
haven't-
evening
we
too.
haven't done that
We can
yet.
go to an all-you-can-eat place, or we could go, because then Whitney will know what the cost is.
Yeah.
You know, as
Can
we start.
budget ahead of
Yeah.
time.
I did
Yeah.
put the dollars in my wallet based on
Or
this,
we
but
can
go
go
on.
to one of the conveyor belt sushi places.
Oh, that's
so that she can
right.
just watch the plates and the bill
$2,
pile up.
$3,
just that
$2.
goes.
Yes. Just the cold
She can
sweat.
She just has the visual representation
Yeah.
of what the bill will
I
be.
start hiding the plates.
Sir, can we take those plates away? No.
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 No, they won't take them.
Yeah,
they
you
count
leave
them at
these-
the end of
Is that how they do
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
You literally
funny.
stack your plates
So I
there, and
could
then they
hide
count
them.
them.
I could hide
I imagine I could see the server coming by. And for you, ma'am, just water.
Water.
Just water.
Yeah.
Lemon,
Yeah.
please, and
Bottled
some sugar.
water? No.
No.
Ice, please.
I'm gonna be like, can I
Tap.
just get 5 empty plates just to add to the stack? I just like
I like
5
to spread
clean
out my
plates.
sushi.
Ma'am, would you like some sushi? That's the waitress.
Man, you guys over there. It's a party. Come on.
It's a lot of like me just picking plates up off the conveyor belt and be like, Whitney, do you want this? Oh, you don't like eel? Well, I got it for you. I already
that's
touched it.
gross.
It's too
You
late.
touched it.
That's gross.
I just wanted to give it a nice tasty lick and leave it right there. Yep, all these are good choices.
Yeah.
I just don't see how this is going to be a bad night.
I will murder you all.
Well, let's get through these questions so we
I'll
can
be full of sushi. What'd you do?
Very
die
triple
doing what I love.
homicide at
at the
Sushi Man, Las
At
Vegas,
Revolve.
Nevada. Therapist Whitney on the run. Yeah, well, it's going to be a
You
good
heard it
night.
here first.
Yeah, we've confessed to the crime at a time. All right, we've got some great questions for the show. The first one is personality testing from Cubana Mama. Hello, Pod Therapy Gang. New pod listener here. I found you guys while searching a specific topic on the Podverse, and I must confess I went down a rabbit hole and binged about 20 episodes
Oh, hell
in
yeah.
a couple of weeks.
Yeesh. That's
Damn.
too many.
Just too many. Please call your
Back
doctor.
off.
Needless to say, I love this pod. The trivia and the dynamic between the hosts is very entertaining. And of course, all the great insight you offer in a range of psychology and life coaching topics with a winky face.
Hey, just copy paste
Yeah.
into a review.
Oh, thank you, Nick. Yes.
There you
yes.
go. Please.
Cubana
Please,
Mama,
please,
I'm calling
please.
bullshit on everything you just wrote until I see it. Until I see it with 5 stars attached somewhere on the internet. This is all a lie.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you for saying it, but get it out there. I found many helpful ideas, not just for me, but for the people around me. And most importantly, I think I've come out better with a better understanding of how therapy works, as I didn't have a clear picture before. Now to my question. First, I'd like to say it was difficult for me to pinpoint a good question to ask you guys, as I have so many others regarding my personal life, my relationships with family, my husband, teenage children. Sometimes I feel like I need a whole team, like you guys, to work on all the issues I see in my life. And of course, I cannot afford that. So I'll just stick to finding myself a good therapist I can begin to work with and hope for the best. For now, here is what I'm curious about. I've heard you mention personality traits and how they're not to be confused with psychological issues that need to be addressed with a therapist. I was just watching the Hitman movie, which I strongly recommend, by the way, and I thought about this idea of changing one's personality in order to become a more successful and happy person. Are personality traits things that can be molded in therapy? Are people able to change the persona they put out into the world and become, say, more outgoing, more social, sexier, or more rational and controlled by working with a therapist? I'm personally not sure if the issues I have are to be addressed as personality traits or if they carry deeper psychological roots. Maybe you guys can untangle the differences for me in the audience. I would love to hear your ideas and maybe comment on the Hitman movie premise while you're there. Thank you so much for all the very entertaining and informative content you guys put out and for addressing the topic of mental health, which, in my opinion, is the most important challenge we face in our society today. Wish all of you the best. Keep doing what you're doing. Your fan from Southern California, Cubana Mama.
Cubana
What
Mama.
a nice letter.
Yeah,
Cool.
just loaded with praise. And to the rest of you, this serves as a really good example.
This is how you fucking
This
write a
is
letter.
how you write.
Jesus.
Right? This is-
Okay, you're
yeah.
all slouching.
It goes praise, 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 question,
Yeah, brief
praise,
question.
praise,
The
praise.
sandwich. It's
Yeah.
the sandwich.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, bread, bread. Slice of cheese. bread, plate. This is how you do it.
I have not seen that movie yet. Have you?
I've played the video game, so I know the premise of Hitman.
Oh,
Is it video?
Oh, no.
It's based on a
Nope.
video game. Is
Nope.
that not it?
Nope. Different movie.
Okay, it is.
There's I just tore this movie apart on Ice Cream Social the
Okay.
other day.
Oh, go
So
on,
what's the premise?
Jacob.
It is a guy works for a police department posing as a hitman. So
Okay.
when you put like an ad on Craigslist looking for a hitman.
Kill my wife.
Yeah, exactly. This guy's going to call you up. Oversimplification, obviously, but that's the basic idea. When you go find a hitman, it's not really a hitman. It's really this guy. And he like molds himself and molds his personality to what he believes the client, the person hiring a murderer,
like
is
an
going to want
undercover
to
cop.
see.
Got it. He
So-
pretends to be a hitman
Right.
hard.
So, like, if Whitney were hiring a hitman to kill Peter, I would look at as the
Again.
fake hitman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried the first.
Yeah.
Would look at Whitney's socials and
Oh.
like figure out like what kind of person is Whitney, what kind of hitman does she picture?
Oh.
Because you're setting him up to commit a crime. You're setting it up for the
Yeah.
crime, and so he would set it up in such a way that it completed the story in their head, so that they
Interesting.
would go on
buy in.
and offer money to,
This is
to
legit.
kill
'Cause
someone.
This
and,
is what I think a hitman would be.
yeah, exactly.
Because you want to lure them in, basically.
Exactly.
Fascinating.
exactly.
Who stars
So
in
why'd
it?
you? That guy who's
Oh.
in that other movie.
Yeah,
It's John
him.
Goodman.
No,
Him.
that's
Yeah,
it.
John
John
Goodman. Classic
Yeah.
no,
I
he's
could
in
see
hitman action figure.
that other rom com I just watched with Sydney Sweeney.
Glenn Powell.
Oh yeah, yes.
You know who
Maverick.
that is?
Maverick from Top Gun Maverick.
Oh.
He was, he
Rooster.
was Hangman.
No, Hangman.
Oh, Hangman.
Yeah, I was like, he's not mad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
got
I
it.
forgot he was in that.
Got
You're
it.
right. Okay,
Yeah.
go on.
I just watched that again the other night.
Oh,
And it's like whenever Laura's like busy, like she goes to the Smith Center with her sister to go to a show
Yep.
and leaves me at home by myself, I always watch Top Gun
It's Top
Maverick.
Gun Maverick.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's always Top Gun
Yeah,
Maverick.
So
yeah.
good.
Every
I have
time.
some defaults.
If you were a better
Yeah.
therapist, you'd know why.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Mine's Apollo 13.
Oh, there's a
I was
twist.
just bored.
one.
It's just
That's a
boom,
There's a
there it
Mine's
twist
is.
that
Mean
happens
Girls.
in that movie.
Mean Girls, yeah. Default feel good popcorn movie.
There's a twist that happens in that movie, and the twist is what I tore apart on Ice Cream Social.
Oh, okay.
But but like the basic
spoiler alert.
And it's based on no, I'm not going to do it now because it is a spoiler.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's based on a true story. Like there was a guy who worked for a police department that was doing this stuff. Like he was posing as a hitman for people trying to hire hitmen.
Yeah.
All right. So to the question.
How do we assassinate people for money?
Right.
That's what
That's how I interpreted this.
There's only one way to interpret it.
So can personality traits be molded? It's kind of like...
And how do you separate those from psychological ailments?
Well, okay, but in the movie, like it's almost like, I'm going to bring it back to this. He's acting, though. He's not actually changing his personality.
Correct.
But is the twist...
But he does kind of... he kind of
adapts.
sticks. He kind of sticks in one.
That's the impression I got from the question, is that maybe
Okay.
you pretend hard enough to be something, maybe you
And then-
start
Like
to become...
become
I mean, this is... I don't know
like
which
that.
26 episodes you listen to, but a piece of advice that I have often given on this is the back end of that piece of advice. Fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
What you're asking is what happens after you make it.
Yeah. And
yeah.
which is a good question. Can that happen?
I do. Okay, so I can kind of relate to this a little bit. I feel like my personality has changed a little bit.
I agree. I'm just kidding.
That was fast.
much
That's
easier to be
very
around.
fast.
Yeah.
Very fast.
Go on, Nick.
We have a
Sorry.
separate text thread you're not in.
Okay, yeah.
Go on.
But I do feel, and for me, I've always attributed to just me getting older, but I don't think that's the case. I think part of it is just kind of embracing different aspects of like CBT, and so I feel like people always compliment me on how patient I am.
Yeah.
When working with clients or now in my current job, working with agencies, and just how sometimes we just get really frustrated, but I'm able to just stay calm. I don't get riled up. I pretty much just, I stay focused and I don't get too emotional about stuff. And I feel like that's actually a recent development. I don't think 15, maybe 20 years ago, I don't think I was like that. So I think that's a trait that I've learned, and I feel like that has changed my personality a little bit.
So this question of where personality comes from is a really interesting one, and it really goes back, not to get into a fun history lesson about it, but this has been something debated about for a really long time. So you go back to like Aristotle and the four humors. That was a belief about personality, that the different versions of or amounts of humors in your body would make one behave or be as a different kinds of person. If anybody out there really wants to go through a really deep dive on this, it's funny because Casat had approached me and asked me to do a CEU series on personality disorders and differentiating
Casat
those.
is a training program in Nevada.
Yep, there it is. And like preparing for that, I ultimately declined it. In part because I get frustrated with what audiences want to hear versus the very boring science that I want to present. And I intentionally, like, aggressively want it to be boring because I want people to stop pathologizing personalities, which we've talked about on the show, and I think Cubana Mama is referring to. But there's a really great book on this, especially for therapists in training, anybody out there that's more on the psychology side. It is titled Personality Disorders. It's by Alan V. Horwitz, Horwitz. Horwitz goes through the entire history of how we arrived at a concept of personality disorders in the modern psychological era. And when we started to think about deviancy and like various kinds of spectrums of like, how is this discretely different from depression, which is causing you to suffer, or anxiety that's causing you to suffer? What about when you cause suffering to others? And this seems to be an innate quality in you. And can we sort of categorize those qualities? So this conversation of personality versus like psychological dysfunction, I think is extremely deep. The question of where personality originates is also really, really fascinating. The bottom line is we do not have hard science on that.
Right.
It's all hypothesis at this point. The best arguments I have heard are the amalgamation of genetics, because there is some evidence that there's genetic linkages to certain traits, but then also the constellation of a family system and where you were raised. Like you can separate twins at birth and have one of them get adopted into a nice family, and then one of them go off and do something completely different, and they will be nothing alike besides physical features. They will maybe not have anything in common. And you have other ones that are separated at birth, and they meet up later on, and oh my God, you like that? So do I. You're like this. I laugh at this too, and they are really similar. So I mean, I guess I'm pointing out more of the mystery of it than anything else.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I think with personality, I can't tell because I haven't seen the movie either, but if this person's asking about just personality traits or like personality disorders, because it is like kind of complicated and maybe really misunderstood. I do get very frustrated at things like narcissism being thrown around wildly right now. And in the past, things like antisocial.
Yeah.
I just had a client this past week who said they were called antisocial by someone close to them when they are not. They just were not engaging. They were choosing not to engage with that person. So they're like, oh, now you're antisocial.
I don't like you.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
you've got antisocial personality disorder, or you're an asshole.
Right. I was like, yeah. So I had to do a little educating in that session. Like, hey, just to validate, you are not.
Well, this happens in couples work a lot too, because a lot of women will drag their men in. And they'll be like, I think he has narcissistic personality disorder. We're like, why?
Yeah.
Well, I looked it up that one of the traits is lacking empathy for the perspective of others.
Great.
And I'll look at the dude and I'll be like, do you lack empathy for your girlfriend's perspective? I'll be like, yeah, because she's wrong.
She's a bitch.
I just disagree with her. Like she, because one of her perspectives is that I have a disease called narcissistic personality disorder, and when I tell her I don't, she says I lack empathy.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like disagreeing with someone who says disagreeing with somebody who says you have a narcissistic personality disorder is the number one criteria for having it.
That's right,
and it's exactly what someone with narcissistic personality disorder would do.
That's exactly what.
Yeah, very.
Of course, you deny it.
Yeah, you're right. It's rampant in society right now.
But okay, I mean, have you ever you've treated personality disorders?
Yeah, I have.
What's the long-term prognosis? What does progress in therapy look like for someone with a personality disorder?
Right.
Do you work on changing the personality, or do you work on finding ways to limit damage or to just find ways to coexist in society?
This is such a brilliant question.
Oh, thank you.
No, I sincerely mean that as a compliment.
Nick!
Take a bow. This is why we wear the tuxedos. This is why.
I'm gonna have to start a thread without Nick.
Please stop applauding.
Oh boy.
No, stop.
I can't wait for Twitch so people can see Nick is applauding.
Why are we doing that? Anyway, go on.
Don't worry about it.
We'll talk about it over sushi.
It is a profound question, because personality on one hand is this thing that is innately part of you. And we can sit down with you and maybe we can realize your personality is causing you social harm. And if you willingly come to me and say, I need help with this, I think I match this kind of description, this is a problem. So then, okay, now I have to ask myself, do I want to help you learn to adapt, sort of sand down the rough edges so that you don't cause social harm so you can function better in society? If you ask me to change you, should I struggle with that like a gay person coming to me and saying, this is who I am, but that's not working because this is my religion and these are my cultural beliefs, and I'm asking you to do, what is that?
Conversion.
Thank you. Conversion therapy with me.
Oh, okay.
To change me in this way. And I have to ask myself that, like, well, that shouldn't be within my scope. I shouldn't do that. So it's a deep question of, should I be trying to change this about you? Or should I be trying to help you understand and increase your awareness about where that some of your traits cause harm in your life? And to what's is it a harm reduction approach?
And I mean, to some extent, we all have to do that. That's not a personality disorder trait. We all have to learn to coexist with the traits that we have.
Yes.
I'm not perfect. I know I've got a lot of flaws, and I know what they are, and I have to learn to coexist with those in ways that it doesn't hurt other people.
You heard it. Nick knows all of his flaws, guys. Every one of them.
That's exactly what I was saying.
And it's the same list that we've been writing in the text thread
about something unrelated.
So now can I be led into this other text thread?
No need. You already know what it says.
It's already here. It's happening.
You've already got the whole list. You're great. But no, it really opens up a tough question, even in therapy land, because whenever you have a partner dragging in another partner and they're saying, my person, I believe, has this, they're not looking for us to at first help them. They're looking for validation.
Yeah.
And they want us to diagnose them. But that's problematic in and of itself. Right. Should I diagnose somebody with an unchangeable trait? We stopped doing that in DSM-3 because there used to be a diagnosis for homosexuality. And you could say, oh, keep the diagnosis, but don't treat it anymore.
Right.
Well, why would we do that? That doesn't, why diagnose anything if it's just a permanent reality of a person?
Also, diagnose sounds like there's a problem.
Right.
So,
Which usually that's why they're coming for treatment. Like there is a
like you don't diagnose a good thing.
Right.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Like you don't when you
Or
take
a
your
benign
kid
thing.
When you take your kid to the pediatrician doesn't diagnose that the kid is growing at a normal rate.
Right. Or diagnose your kid with red hair.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, it is an abnormal trait. It's like
Red hair, maybe they should.
I'm sorry, but your child has no soul.
Is a redhead.
Oh my God.
Do you want to terminate?
But he's 8 years old.
Oh, I know.
This is your fault. You teed him up for that.
I
saw that way back.
Yeah, he was.
Y'all have been working together too long.
I didn't mean to be honest. Looking back, it probably looks like I was trying. No, just you throw balls in the air and he just swats them. He catches whatever he wants.
I can't kill an 8-year-old child, but I can kill an 8-year-old redhead. Legally, they're just things.
Your Honor.
Nick's dying.
Yeah, Nick just
He's
spit out
literally
grape juice. Case dismissed.
Oh, that was close.
Let this man go.
It's like if I came over and killed your pet. It's not tasteful, but it's not necessarily illegal
I'm
if
not
you ask
sure
me to do
if it's
it.
a crime. A lot of question marks are surrounding this. Personality is that way, where it's like, okay, so like if you and your girlfriend, if your girlfriend drags you in and says, I think he has personality disorder, I think he has narcissistic personality disorder. Okay. Or you're not the girl for him. Somebody out there likes a selfish asshole. And that's her guy. And she's like, give him to me. I like this kind of guy. Whatever. Call me what you want. Say I have low self-esteem. Say I'm a doormat. Whatever. We'd be a perfect match. And I'd never complain about him. And he'd probably, mistreat me in life. But we've been married for 35 years. So, it's a really interesting question of how we create an objective standard for disease when we're talking about personality traits that are not clearly causing suffering in a straight line to the person.
So what if we take some of the jargon away? Because the writer is asking with words, and those words have different definitions to you guys.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Yeah.
So are there things about a person that can be changed versus things about a person that can't be changed?
Well, I like this because I'm going to go back to Nick saying he used to be someone different. Only because you've talked about it on the podcast already. I'm going to text the group that Nick's not in really quick. Okay, now that I got that done. Nick.
Yes.
No, I feel like you shared...
I just opened up my phone. Oh, this is great.
No, what? Don't worry about it, Nick. Don't worry about it.
It really isn't texting about me.
There is now. Jacob started it while we were doing this.
This is hurtful.
Oh, welcome, buddy. Welcome.
You know what, Jacob?
330 episodes in, you get one? Yeah. Fucking strap in. You're due.
This is definitely a sign of, never mind. I'm like not going to go there.
Nick, there are memes.
We'll maybe show you later if you're nice.
I love these jokes that the audience didn't even know existed, and just Jacob does that because fuck it, this is funny now. This is just for him.
It's amazing.
People don't understand. Everything I'm doing is just for me.
The mics don't have to be plugged in.
I think it's funny.
What would we diagnose that as?
That's Jacob.
That's just Jacob.
The guy who threatened to murder redhead children? I don't know.
That's
I guess
fair.
there's not
I
words.
didn't
Which
threaten anything.
category?
I volunteered.
On Craigslist for a reasonable fee.
Yeah,
Oh, my cheeks hurt.
I'm a doctor. It's okay.
It is. It's true. Yes. Yeah, it is now.
Oh, speaking of bets, I need to win that back. I think I'm going to have to double or nothing on the Masters.
You got to do something.
What more can I lose at this point?
So back to Nick changing who he is.
Oh, yeah, go on.
No, I feel like you've mentioned before, like having gone through divorce, it was like there was this transition period where it's kind of like, who am I? I do think when we're in relationships, it can feel a little bit like enmeshment at times. And so whenever you're separating from that, there's a lot of questions like, all right, moving forward, who am I, but who do I want to be? And like, how do I just do the actions to become who I want to be? And I was actually just thinking about this for myself, even because having played a college sport, like there was a lot of years where someone's telling me like, this is what you're doing for exercise. You're going to work out 3 times a day, or you're going to go on like a 3-mile run, or you're going to do that. Like whatever it is, we're practicing for this long in this heat in this whatever. And I just showed up and did it. But like as an adult, it was kind of like, all right, I'm going to reject that for a while. And become kind of unhealthy. And so getting back into focusing on my health over the last like 9 months or so, a lot of it is weird because psychologically I notice I'm like, oh my gosh, it takes a totally different person to choose to go to the gym like
Versus
5
being
days a week.
told,
I didn't realize that was going to be like a shift in almost like who you are to choose to do that. That was a really weird, enlightening moment for me. Really just in the last couple of weeks I've been thinking about that. But when we talk about like how can you change a personality or what your choices are, I think that does, you making certain choices every day does eventually become changing kind of who you are.
Yeah, I think it kind of goes back to what Jacob said. We're like, fake it till you make it.
Jacob's right, the end.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, fake it
quick
till you
show
make
today,
it.
folks.
Yeah.
Yeah, whether it's through accountability or whatever, it's like you do kind of change who you are just by
Yeah.
showing up in a different way.
I think there are probably things in you that don't change. I don't know what those things are, but but you know, like things like sexuality and things like that.
Right.
That seems to stand out pretty high on that list. You know, just kind of general personhood traits that maybe that's just going to be who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
But like, there are definitely things like if you're someone who is always late,
Right.
and you want to be someone who is more punctual, that is something that, like, with some work, you can just change that about yourself.
Right. Well, what's interesting in that book, Horowitz had really talked about how fluid personality really is, even to the point of ways that we all kind of know, but we forget about. The fact that you can describe the personality of entire cultures. You can say like, oh, what is a Prussian personality? What is a 34-year-old German man's personality?
Yeah.
What is a 15-year-old Hawaiian girl's personality? What is a Filipino family's personality? What is a boy that lives in Beijing? And like we can reach pretty accurate guesses about certain qualities and characteristics that are often shaped by culture. And so culture does have an influential force. But another thing is age. Our personalities do change with age.
Have y'all been to any of your like high school reunions?
Right.
Oh
my
my
10-year,
gosh.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I went to my 10-year and it's like weird looking at the people that you
Right.
saw a certain way when they were 15, 16, 17.
Very different people.
Yeah, to
Or you meet a
27.
person who, quote unquote, never grew up. And you notice it. And that seems odd. You're like, they haven't changed at all. But then you think, those qualities made sense when you were an adolescent. They
Yeah.
don't make
Yeah.
sense now.
Totally.
And that's another thing that Horowitz talks about is that we should expect personality change over time because it can change with culture, circumstance, it changes with age. And then, that's another piece too, is like there are qualities that we associate with youthfulness and there are qualities we associate with age.
See, and that's what I was thinking too. Like the change that I mentioned earlier, is that because I've kind of embraced kind of stoicism
Right.
and CBT and all of this into my life, or is it just because I'm older? Because I
Right.
do notice also, like I realize that energy is finite and
Right.
I only have so much. And I'm getting, as I get older, I'm getting pickier about where I choose to devote my energy
Right.
and what things are not worth my energy.
Well, and that makes sense. And maybe that's a quality of aging because like in the book, he talks about older people we associate as being considered, risk adverse, paternal over others. Young people we associate as impulsive, risk-taking, enthusiastic, and selfish. And it's interesting because selfishness, if you tried to diagnose 15-year-olds with narcissistic personality disorder, you'd run out of ink on the pen.
Well, you can't because it's personality.
Right.
And personality doesn't develop until you're mid
X, Y. Yeah, we're usually prohibited from diagnosing young, but then there are some that can kind of weasel in there. So to the bigger point, I like this conversation because I think too often people get this impression from psychology that there's a monolithic, clear, objective answer, and it's very black and white. And yes, personalities can change over time, and there's probably certain traits or impressions or beliefs you have that are indelible, that are sort of persistent, but they'll change over time. And we expect it to. You see a movie, and if the character acts like a 65-year-old man, you have an impression of what that is, and that is not weird to you. You don't think, wow, what a good actor. He really caught the... No, you look around, you meet people of a certain type, and you assume that that's a quality of person at that age. So they do change over time. You can change them with intention, I think, too.
And speaking of age, I saw this on Instagram. Are no-show socks not a thing anymore? Because apparently...
Yeah.
When did that happen?
So people are doing the knee highs now? Is that what you're saying?
No, like I saw a
Thigh
thing
highs.
that was like the sign of a millennial or whatever is like the no-show
It
socks.
Oh,
is.
yeah, no.
Yeah.
We wear no-show socks. The kids just wear, like, tube socks, like up to their, not all the way up to their shins. It's normal socks. But no-show socks is us.
I didn't realize that until just like a week ago. Then
Yeah.
now
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh, Nick,
I'm looking
come
at
on.
I know.
Oh man, I
know,
feel so good right now.
I,
Yeah.
Yeah.
my
I don't have any
favorite.
no-show socks. I feel very
Young.
Oh.
Do you wear socks?
I wear socks. Yeah.
I I just don't wear
I
underwear.
wear a lot of
and that's
sandals
just
when I
how
come
fix
here.
A
it.
lot of sandals.
Yeah.
I see sandals
In
a
the
lot.
studio,
Okay.
you see a lot of sandals.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nowhere
yeah.
else.
Otherwise, it's cowboy boots.
That's right.
That's fair.
Exclusively snakeskin cowboy.
I did wear cowboy boots to a
Yeah,
wedding
the
this weekend.
crew socks are where it's at.
Ooh,
Yeah, I do like a
Christ.
mid calf, mid calf sock. I like one of the looks I rock a lot is the mid calf sock with the high top tennis shoes and shorts.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cubana Mama, thank you for this question.
Thank you.
Dr. Horwitz, if you're listening, I assume you do, contact us. I'd love to have you on the show because, boy, would I love that. Would be a great lecture. I would just love to hear this entire book recapped in an hour. But anyway, we can't wait to read your 5-star review, preferably on Apple. But honestly, anywhere, we'll take what we can get. And that goes for the rest of you, too, damn it. If you've listened to 20 episodes and you haven't reviewed us, that's on you. You need to get on. Only 5 stars, though, please. But I would assume you're out if you're not listening.
Also, did you start your list of places where you could kind of like see personality development places from with Prussia?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why Prussia?
Prussia?
Why a country that
Hey,
hasn't
Jim.
existed in
Hey,
more
Jim,
than a
where's
century?
Prussia?
Oh. Well, is this a trick question?
No.
Oh.
I mean, the
Shut
answer
up.
is
Really? It
the
still
answer
exists?
is history books.
No.
Okay, good.
Well,
It doesn't-
the area still exists.
Oh, okay.
Prussia doesn't.
Well, I don't know where that was. I know it doesn't exist.
Okay.
I assume it's near Russia, so it's
Really good guess.
I mean, it is near Russia.
It's to the of Russia.
Okay.
I would assume. I don't know. Prussian
Moving
has
on.
a culture to it from books.
Okay.
All right.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back,
That
we're
was my
talking about
question, is why?
processing
I got an answer.
feedback from University Jeff. You're listening to Pod Therapy.
Today's episode is brought to you by Ben, Don, Malia, Richard Macy, Sonny Boy, Samantha Cone, Thunder, Cougar, Falcon, Scoop, Slurp, Kaye, Motherfucker, and Sandra McWaffle. Would you like to sponsor the show? Of course you would. Become a therapy producer at patreon.com/therapy. All right. We're going to go clockwise. Who was the last person in here to eat a donut?
Oh,
I won on Tuesday.
Tuesday?
Oh,
Yeah, I
mine
can't
was
beat Tuesday.
over a weekend
Okay,
ago.
Jacob starts.
All right.
Our theme in honor of our therapy producers is Shakespearean hip hop.
ooh, what?
These are hip hop songs rewritten through Shakespeare.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
So we have
what do
to
I
guess
have to-
what the
what do I
hip
have
hop
to guess?
song
Yes.
is.
I will read the lyrics as Shakespeare would have intended,
And we have to get the song.
and you have to get the song.
Oh God.
This is
I never know
brilliant.
the names of
I
We're
could go
gonna
the other
start-
direction. I feel like much better than this direction.
We're going to start with Jacob. Jacob, it's you. So you have the first guess. If you don't get it, then it goes
Okay.
clockwise.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we can't challenge.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, here's the only thing. I think you guys are going to get these. Okay.
All right.
So let me get all the way through it.
Okay. Yeah. We
Okay.
will not interrupt. Yeah.
Okay.
Get it out.
Here we go. Oh, okay. Get ready.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shakespeare. Here we go. Here we
Yeah.
go. Shakespeare.
I like that you're wearing that fanny collar thing. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Annie.
Very
Fanny
nice.
collar?
Yeah. It looks like a fan.
Yeah, it's like the hats.
Yeah.
Like the fanny hats.
Yeah.
There's people in the UK
yeah.
listening.
Fanny collar.
Right.
Yeah, it's like when they were
Yeah.
doing all those protests and people and women were in the fanny hats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those were good days.
The pink one.
Yeah.
Here we go, Jacob.
Yeah.
Indeed, his palms art damp. His knees doth quake. His arms burdened, heavy as laden oak. Yon sweater, stained with mom's pasta fair, doth betray his nerves, yet outwardly an air of calm and readiness he doth display. To speaketh poetry, yet memory doth betray. What he hath writ, the throng doth roar and jeer.
Oh, yeah.
He opens his mouth, but words doth disappear. He doth stumble how laughter fills the air. Time
I knew
hath
I should
run
have
its
eaten a
course.
donut.
Tis done. Tis beware.
Oh, so good.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So good.
Jim and Whitney have got it.
Oh, you don't got this?
I don't have a single clue.
So, Whitney, you're going to get the point, but I think we should answer it by singing it. Because that's the only way.
Do you
Are
pass?
you ready? Are you
I'm passing.
passing?
I'm out. I don't even have a guess.
You better lose.
Are sweaty, knees deep, arms
are heavy. There's vomit on his
sweater
sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. He's nervous, but on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting what he wrote down. The whole crowd goes so loud he opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking now. Everybody's joking now. The time's run out. Time's up. Over now. Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there
we
goes
got
gravity.
sushi.
Lose
Come on,
yourself.
let's go.
Lose
Sorry.
yourself. Eminem.
Okay, good job. Point Whitney.
Damn.
Yay.
Did you get ChatGPT to make these?
I did.
This is fucking
that
good
is
use of AI.
hilarious.
Here's the trick to it.
I was like, I'm not going to get any
Here's
of
the
these.
prompt.
Here's the trick. Okay, no, I just say rewrite this in Shakespearean
Oh,
English.
fuck yes.
Okay, but here's the trick. ChatGPT will not give you its best version first.
So you have to
You
say,
gotta
do it again.
You have to
Yes.
say more Shakespeare, more Shakespeare, and like an abusive high school football coach. I was just like, "Give me more," and it just
Is
like
this your best?
by the fourth or fifth, it was like, "Yes, you
That
got it,
print.
you got it." Yeah. All right.
All right.
Okay.
1 point for Whitney.
Whitney, you're up.
Okay.
Go for the double.
Here we go.
No show sucks. Tangeman over there.
Verily, I doth fancy ample posteriors, and cannot speak a falsehood.
Oh.
Ye other brethren cannot forswear
Let him go.
that
Oh,
when
yeah.
a damsel doth saunter by with a waist most slight and a rounded form doth meet
now
thine
I understand
eye,
what the game
thou
is.
art enraptured. Thou wouldst draw near with fortitude, perceiving that the rump is well endowed. Deep within the breeches she adorns. I am beguiled, and mine eyes cannot withdraw their gaze.
Sir Mix-a-Lot baby got back.
Got it.
I want to sing it. Can I have this? I just
she had-
want to sing
if she
Try
had
and
that.
got it
sing it
wrong, it
like
would've been
that.
I
great.
want to throw that lyric on the song
That
now.
could be a thing. I feel like that's a YouTube
fuck
channel.
Yeah, I think we just invented something.
All right, last one. Here we go,
Oh,
Jim.
cool.
I think it's called Weird Al Yankovic.
I think so,
I think you're
yeah.
just
That's
inventing
fair.
Weird Al.
Throw that out
That's
there.
fair.
Third one.
Okay, here we go. Hark, let me bid thee welcome to yon wild, wild west, a realm untouchable as valiant Elliot Ness. The melody striketh thine ear as a slug to thy breast. Grid thyself a vest in the city of wanton excess, in that sun-drenched land where the choicest hemp doth grow, a place where near an empty dance floor doth show, where procurers embark upon quest for verdant gold, learn mean coin-producing machines serving fiends bold.
Jesus Christ. California knows how to party.
Got it.
Oh,
Nice.
Good job.
welcome everybody to the Wild, Wild
Wild
West.
I was kind of hoping for a second that he would miss it and go. What was the Wild Wild West song? Was it Wild
yeah.
Wild
Oh,
West?
yeah, the
Yeah.
theme
that Will
song.
Smith
Will
did.
Smith.
That's
That's
what
what
I
I
was
thought.
thinking, honestly,
No,
at
that's
first.
where I went
I was
first.
like,
hoping.
oh.
Yeah.
I was like, hopefully Jim will go to Wild Wild West.
Yes.
Yeah. So when they said
What's
Wild
it at?
Wild West, I thought that is part of the Wild
Yeah.
Wild West theme song. It's like, Wild Wild
Oh,
West.
West.
You
Yeah.
get caught into the Wild West. And so I
Yeah.
thought that's what it was. And then he said untouchable like Elliot Ness. And I was like,
Oh.
oh, that's a
Yeah.
little dated
When
reference
there's,
for
when there's a name, it's
yeah.
hard. Like
it's gonna
show.
catch the reference.
Yeah.
Wow. So we got a 2 to 1.
2 to 1. Whitney,
2 to 1.
Whitney's
You're
got two.
welcome.
Whitney with the early
Big
lead.
Jimmy style with 1.
Coming back, because I don't know if you know this, you got your ass kicked last weekend.
Wait.
Or no, 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's
2
right.
weeks
Oh,
ago,
2 weeks
yeah.
ago.
I was like,
Yeah.
no, last week I was pretty good.
Yeah.
2 weeks
Yeah.
ago when you weren't here, you did poorly.
Yeah.
You did
Very, very bad.
Wasn't
We
great.
keep you in the game. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
For
because
honesty.
we're gentlemen.
I need y'all.
Well, because we average out over the year to see who is actually. Oh, that would be a great bit if we could get a listener to actually figure out who's ahead of all time.
Oh,
Good
my
luck.
gosh.
Terrible assignment.
With
that
all
would
the
be.
random 10 million points.
I was going to say, yeah.
Good point. If we're doing it by the book, somebody's
There are
got
a lot
like
of
a billion.
questions. Get some point bonuses.
Some random week that was just giving them out. Processing feedback from University Jeff. My dearest Pod Therapy family and Mr. Jim. Thanks. Since Jim said you guys need some letters, I thought I'd write in. I did something either ridiculously brave or stupid, and have yet to really decide. In consultation with my therapist, I reached out to the past 4 people that I've dated since moving back to Oregon 2 years ago and sent them the following message.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Wow, I know. The T. Let's
Everybody
hear
go
it.
ahead and strap in.
I am tingling with anticipation.
Okay, I wish this show was
Jacob's
on Twitch.
eyes are, like,
Jacob sat up in his
listening.
chair, like just pulled all the way up to the
you
mic.
got what now?
he was filing or something.
Yeah.
Just abruptly
He was
threw
staring at the
papers
wall.
in the air and came to the mic. Hi there, it's Jeff. I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I've been going through therapy.
I want to know like how long they haven't been dating. I want to know everything for
want
every
all of
person.
the
I love Jacob for this.
But I've been going through therapy and trying to be a better person and potential partner. My therapist recommended I reach out to people I've dated in the past to see if they were willing to tell me things that I did that were either red flags, stuff I could work on, or outright bad. I won't defend...
Jacob's covering his face. He cannot handle the second hand.
I hate this
Jacob
therapist
would
so
never.
much.
He would never.
Ooh, this is going to be good. Okay, I won't defend my actions, make excuses, or anything like that. This is me trying to grow and do better. I also understand if you don't want to do this and do not respond. I still wish you the best and hope you are doing well. End. This solicited some responses.
Oh, good.
Some of which
Jacob, go on.
from their current boyfriends. This solicited some responses, some of which were kind and thoughtful, which I was told that I tend to fall in love really fast and hard. Feel free to laugh and joke at that. And start to see a future with people after a short time with them. To downright hurtful and untrue filibusters on how I did not treat her dead husband with the reverence he deserved, bullied her son, and told her how to live her life.
In fairness, you hit her son with her dead husband's detached arm while yelling at her to tell her to make you some dinner.
It was disrespectful, okay?
It was a lot in a single evening.
And it was Hanukkah. Jesus. You can guess who that was from. Of course, this left me in a raw state after reading these messages, causing me to cry into my pillow, full-blown, ugly crying. A few weeks later, a similar thing happened this year as I got my end-of-year performance review, and I was classified as not meeting expectations and put on official disciplinary measures and a performance improvement plan, compounding my frustrations and making me question if I even want to work at this college anymore. This experience also got me thinking about how to process this kind of critical or harsh feedback. One thing I tried doing was some CBT and taking those messages to court, presenting evidence in support and against, but this was a struggle as my anxiety brain would almost always overwhelm me. I chatted with some friends about all this, which was much better as the external processing really helped me poke holes in the filibuster. Journaling still presents a problem for me because I just don't know how to process through writing. My fitness classes were by far the best way. I was able to kickbox, dance, and step my way through the frustrations, making me think that Nick is really onto something with this mental fit thing. Maybe he should write about it in his future memoir. All of this is to ask.
I love that.
Oh, I know. He was sweating that.
Yeah.
He was really sweating that.
Well done.
Ah, yes.
Well done, writer.
So have been people
Thanks,
doing this
Jeff.
for years? Do people just put shit in here that they know? Like the word pillow was in here?
Yeah.
Jim.
I'm starting to really question. Is
I'm going to start writing anonymous
Tor in
letters
here?
just in
Like,
Jim's words.
This is
Okay.
starting to get really, really deep conspiracy shit. All of this is to ask, how would you recommend I process critical feedback of this nature? I know the work things were performance and action based, so I've already started taking action to improve my service next year and to do better. But the ones from the ladies weren't always behavior based things that I could change. They were personal attacks on me. Any help would be appreciated. Thanks, University Jeff.
Whew. I want to hear what Jacob says.
I think you need a new therapist.
That was a bold suggestion.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, Jim, would you ever,
I struggle to ever question the quarterback on the field.
Yeah.
I hate doing the Monday morning thing of like, here's what I would have done. because I don't know what they were saying.
No, that's
This
fair. But have you
sounds
ever?
like something Jeff said maybe would be a good idea 100 times, and then the therapist was like,
You just
"Yeah,
need
you
to-
know what? Just do it.
Yeah.
just you know what? Let's get it out of your system. It sounds like you are going to die with this curiosity. You want a performance review on your dating." I don't know.
Yeah, when you say
I
it
don't
that
know
way,
why
I
the
could
therapist
see
did
that.
this. I could see it happening that way.
Because I could also see it too. Like if I had a client that was, talking about like, I just with a couple people in particular, I wish I could just get some feedback, so on and so forth.
Right.
And if it was like if it ended amicably, I may be the type to say like, well, I mean, do you feel comfortable reaching out to them? If you really want to know,
Yeah.
give it a shot. I don't think I would ever say, let's type up a
form
draft
letter.
Yeah.
that we
To
can
whom
just
it may concern.
blast out to
If
everybody.
we ever
I don't know
dated
if- yeah.
and or associated,
Yeah.
I would like your thoughts.
That would be a tough one because there are some
Did you
people.
drink water at Camp Lejeune?
Yeah.
Oh my God, those billboards.
First of all, I want you to know I am STI free,
And I hope
and
you are
hopefully
doing well.
so are you.
If you are pregnant, please contact me for financial information.
Okay.
I just don't know. I don't know what real good was going to come from this exercise.
Well, see, again, here's the thing. I think some good could come
or
from
what
it.
net good, I guess.
Yeah, I think some good things could come from it.
But also some
Again,
bad things.
From relationships where they ended amicably.
Right.
Like I'm thinking of like maybe a few of my exes that I could potentially reach out to and just talk to and say, hey, how's it going? My therapist and I are going through some things. This popped into my mind. What are your thoughts? I welcome your feedback. But there are other people who I would definitely never send that email to, where it's just, but again, so how
That's
good?
the next bet. Is
So
I get to
here's-
send an email to one of Nick's exes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
So here's the kind
The
of
pod
the,
therapy survey.
Send it in our group, Jacob.
here's the
This is
real
how we help our hosts get better.
the real interesting thing is like if we
Here's
look
a
at
link.
this from the standpoint of research, if we do it that way, we have a self-selecting sample.
Right.
So I am intentionally going after people. I am selecting the feedback that I really want by choosing which people I'm going to send it to and which people I'm not.
Yes.
So is this really useful information?
Well, they said the last 4 people they dated.
Well, they're all
Yeah,
ex-customers.
yeah.
They're all people that discontinued their membership. And then it's like, hey, why? Exit surveys have value in some contexts. But most breakups, you usually know why. Every once in a while, you have a relationship that breaks up with you and you get no closure and there's no information. And I've seen a friend where that happened, where they had a very successful 5 or 6 year relationship.
Friend.
They lived together, and she left me. No, but they lived together. Everything was good. They had dogs. They were very in love, and they seemed great. And I'd see them all the time.
They had dogs.
And then one day he mentioned that as part of like why because I had asked him something like, because she just left.
No, he felt
And he was, and
No
I was like,
closure
"Is she
around it.
coming back? Like, what's going on?" He's like, "Yeah, man, we like own dogs together. Like, we adopted dogs.
Yeah, okay. They got them
We're
together.
not married,
okay.
but that's because we
Oh,
don't."
so she just was out.
Yeah, and they had a home together.
Yeah.
Oh,
and they
okay.
just didn't legally get married because they just didn't believe in it. It was
Right.
that,
Sure.
and so they'd been together for a very long time. And one day she just ghosted, gone, and he was going through like at first, like, has she been abducted kind of thing? And then he
Jesus.
found her after a couple
Aliens.
of days where she was like, no, I've left. I'm at my sister's. I'm alive. I don't want to speak to you ever again. And then he's like, did I do something? And I'm sitting down with him like, let's audit your life. Like, did you
Yeah.
cheat? Like, what happened? And he's like, dude, no. Like, and so like, I've seen a situation where a person was so caught off guard that years later I could see him reaching out to her for a sense of closure or like, can I please understand? Because your reaction was so 180 degrees.
But in that case,
I never want
there's
that
like
to happen to me
a
again.
specific question.
That's exactly my point.
That's
I think
that's
just
a specific
casting
like
a broad net.
Yeah, that's a specific note of like I am confused about what happened here.
Right.
Help me learn.
What? Because that is a bizarre
Yeah.
behavior, right? It's inexplicable. Most breakups, they said their things at you.
Everybody got it when they left.
You know why they.
I don't have a single ex where I'm like, what happened?
We were doing so good.
Yeah. I know how they all ended.
Yeah, and you know what they
shit
described.
on the
it.
bed. I know why.
That was an
I was
Amber.
right there. there.
Amber, get out.
I saw you.
You need to get off this podcast. All right, you're not coming back.
Yeah, I think most of the time it's not a mystery enough that I would really want this letter to go out. And I think as a therapist, and again, I struggle because I hate Monday morning quarterbacking. I do a little bit question the move here, but again, I defer to the expert on the ground. I usually say they know so much that I don't know. I just showed up. I'm Johnny come lately. But for other people in the crowd that are listening to this letter and thinking, I've thought about doing that too, I don't know if I want you doing this. Because again, like you said, Nick, just scientifically, you are sampling a very specific audience who rejected the product. As Penn says, and I love this, one of the things Penn says whenever he finds something he doesn't like, he just says, it wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people that like Chris Angel. I'm not one of them. It's not for me. It's not my show. There's other people that is 100% what they want. They just want this fiery, loud, angry.
Man, you picked like the one thing that I've never heard anyone be amicable.
I know,
about.
right? I'm reaching up there. I'm making you work at this. The character's developing on that one.
Like, I've heard Penn talk about Chris a lot.
And yeah, that's the one that he does.
I've never heard that amicable side.
Yeah. But I like that theory of like, that isn't for me. These people voted against you, and I don't want the general audience to try an experiment like this. I don't see a scenario where you learn. I see scenarios where you get broken down, where your flaws at that time are suddenly magnified, and there's nothing.
No. Your perceived flaws, perceived by a single person who was emotionally invested in the whole thing, and especially in the outcome.
Good point.
Here's the other thing. Okay, so I'm thinking about this. I'm trying to apply this into my own life. What this would look like.
Should you do this? Yes. You should do this live on the show.
Let's go.
Wait till we get Twitch. Wait till it's I want people to see.
Hey.
What are video calls?
I'm looking for deep dive content.
It's called YouTube.
As much
Nick's
as anybody.
deep dive series. Nick calls all of his exes.
I would pay for the Patreon
Raise the Patreon.
level.
This is no way.
$100
on the internet.
$100. I'll pay it.
Yeah, the level is going way
I'm
up.
sending it to our group
He
chat
sent
right
the
now.
letters out, and he got some replies.
I've
already got the theme song going.
1 year subscription at the TheraPartner level, and then you access this series. Period.
I started as a joke, but I could do that.
Don't, please.
No.
Please
As your friend, I don't want you to do this.
Please.
Do it.
Do it.
They don't love you. Okay. This is just complete
No, I want to hear
sadism on their
Nick
part.
finish what you were saying, Nick.
But I'm thinking about how I would apply this in my life. And like, I could see like, yes, I think there's some value to this information. But the more I think about it, the more I think, well, it's all stuff I already know.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like it would be confirming things that I already know.
That's
like,
it.
If I just think of any random X of mine, and I think about how did this go wrong, and in what ways did I contribute to this going wrong?
Right.
I know the answer.
Well, that's what we said.
I don't have to
gonna
reach
be
out to
surprises.
this person.
Yeah.
I kind of already know
It's just
that.
funny
That's
for
kinda
us
a
to
good
hear your
point.
exes badmouth you.
Yeah.
Like, that's really funny
Oh,
content
no,
for
it's
us.
definitely entertaining.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
But you're not going to get anything out of it.
Yeah. No, I mean, but I'm willing to cry for the show.
Yeah.
I'm willing to go through some heartbreak.
There you go.
But you bring up a good point, Nick. Like, if you're...
We'll just do a month where we all interview an ex each week. It's just a different one of our exes.
I feel like I could get at
Oh
least
my
one to come
God.
on, and it would be very entertaining.
Jesus.
All right.
Oh, the anger and pain. But this goes back. Also, the Bash Nick thread is getting really good.
It's
I'm just
really
be
good
honest
over
with you
here.
right now. It is.
We're having a great time
my
over
phone's
here.
just blowing up over here. I'm like having
Yeah.
to mute it because it's just vibrating off
turn
the
your
table.
sound on.
Yeah, I should. I should for the rest of the show.
Yeah, right.
Fuck it.
Ringtone's on.
Mine's going on. Mine's going on. I have
Full
to.
volume.
I'll turn mine on too, but I don't know why.
Oh, you're getting some. I noticed there's some fuck Jim in the main thread.
No, that's not
no,
the main.
no,
That's not
that's
the
not
main
either.
thread.
I have not gotten a single
There's
text.
a second thread that. Oh, that's right. There's
No.
a Jim is such an idiot in the fuck.
It's just
Nick
me and
thread.
Jacob.
And then he goes, oh, sorry, wrong thread.
I jabbed Jim in the fuck Nick thread.
He got him confused. There's a different thread.
Too many threads.
That's a different purpose. That's the standing thread that Jim is also in.
Right.
There's really no reason to conceal that. So, yeah, I agree with you. I do not see any information that you learn. I see things that get reinforced, and then I see airing of grievances, which I don't think has a lot of therapeutic value. For anybody that's in a growth state, you don't. What are you going to get from them? They need to talk about that with their therapist. Or there's going to be misperceptions, like you disrespected my dead husband and hurt my. What? Or people like, I know
That
you were
one-
cheating on me with Becky, and it's like, but I really wasn't. Like,
that one
okay, here's
probably
this
didn't
again.
need a letter.
I know you were cheating on me
Right.
with my dead husband.
Yeah, he was so hot. Yeah, I know you dabble in necromancy.
Any port in a storm. Any hole in a graveyard.
Oh, take it.
Any grave. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I didn't say grave. I said hole.
Now,
Very strategic.
Jeff, to give you some props, okay, you already pointed out the number one thing that I was going to do, the feedback that I was going to give you, the work thing. Take that and put that off to the side.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
is
for
a
sure.
whole separate thing.
Yeah.
Don't put those two together.
Don't conflate those. That'll be bad for you.
Yeah, because that is not helpful. And I think you're 100% correct in your analysis of that, which is that the work thing is all behavior based,
Right.
right? The relationship thing, you've got, emotional stability, you've got all these other things that compile into that. Your boss doesn't really care about any of that stuff. It's just about behaviors. Are you
Right.
performing? Are you doing the things you're supposed to be doing? So it's not even fair to put those two together.
Unless the 4 letters were to former coworkers that he dated, then I could see these things being related. Like, yeah, man, your performance is really bad.
You're falling
you
in
keep
love
dating
too
all
fast.
these people. Oh yeah. You fall in love really fast with everybody you work with, and then you follow up with fucking letters,
Right.
to find out if they're still mad at you.
I was really in love with you, but your TPS reports are always late.
Yeah, that's what
just
it
can't.
was.
Yeah.
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 I heard a
Yikes.
ding.
Oh, here we
damn
go. Yeah, sorry, buddy.
This is great.
Yeah, they just
I need to bring my phone
just
closer
start
to the
flowing
mic.
through.
I'm like,
Jesus, he
volume
invited
up.
a lot of people to this.
Wow. Laura?
Nick's mom's in the thread. Jesus Christ.
No, I'm torn. Okay, I absolutely see the value in everything that was shared so far, and I agree to it to an extent. I think as a therapist, I have never asked a client to do this. I have even recently asked a client if they felt comfortable talking to their partner, their current partner they'd been with for a long time, ask them what qualities, how would they describe you?
Yeah.
Was something that I asked, because we're
Oh, yeah.
working on something different. Mostly because in my mind, I'm like, they're in what seems to be a happy, healthy relationship. So in my mind, it's like, they're going to give helpful feedback there, like on what we're working on. So that's like the closest I've come as a therapist.
Well, I'm good with that. And even
Yeah.
in that, I only want this kind of feedback where I can be there to protect them.
Correct.
And I'll tell
Yeah.
them, you're not to have this conversation except in therapy, because we're trained to use those blocking skills and reframing and mitigation
Yeah.
to make it productive and sand the edges off live so that it's palatable, and that we can also at the end come back and summarize and be like, so the core message I heard you saying between all the curse words and the accusations of necromancy and
Yeah.
what's sleeping with dead people? That's not necromancy. That's a different thing.
No, it's necrophilia.
Necrophilia.
Thank you. Silly me.
Like, I think that's
Necromancy
bringing
is like
things
Dungeons
back to
and Dragons.
life.
Yeah, it's
Like,
bringing them back to
Well,
life.
you got a necromancy before you necrophilia.
No,
if you
her
know
name
what I
was
mean.
Nancy, Joe.
Oh,
you're just misreading.
You're right.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Absolutely. Thank you. Save it for the thread, bitch.
I know. I was like in the thread.
Sorry. I said that out loud.
But I think it depends. It just depends on what your goal was. So when you say I'm trying to become a better person or a better partner, I'm not
Yeah.
sure which area, but like, so I kind of get wanting to reach out. But when you say you got feedback from somebody that was pretty harsh and you're having a hard time processing that, I think you have to remember that every person is experiencing life through their own lens. And so whenever you're reaching out saying, hey, what was your perspective? Probably part of it is what Nick said. You already maybe kind of know what the reasons
You
were.
fall in love easily, quickly, like you said.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think Jeff probably already knew that.
Yeah.
I think Jeff did.
Well, and Jeff
that's-
also definitely knew what these people thought of him.
Right. You know why.
Yeah.
But noticing that pattern, I want you to discover that in therapy through careful discussion and insight building. Let's audit. Let's go back. Tell me about your relationship. How long were you together? When were you going to move in together? That does seem a little fast, Jeff. Do you have a pattern of moving quick? Well, yeah. Because
I mean, the
don't want
therapist
to mess
could,
around.
Like if I just sit here and ask Nick, think three significant others ago, if I talk to that person, what would they tell me about
That's all
you?
you got to ask.
Oh, yeah.
That's
you
it.
can tell me exactly what that letter would say.
Whether
And
it's your truth or not, you know why they did it.
Yes.
And
Yes.
more importantly
That's a great
than
point.
what they
Yeah.
would really say is your perception of what they would say. That reveals a lot. Because what if Nick said, well, they would say they left me because I'm too handsome.
Right.
Okay, I don't really need to ever go
Yes.
ask the other person what they
Yes.
actually
You know what?
thought.
That's
I've
exactly.
learned from Nick what he thinks, right? As we all put in the thread.
Lily?
Yeah. So, Jeff, in this case, look, you've already done the experiment. You're going through a time of personal growth.
It's hard to hear.
We admire you for that. We admire you for being the kind of guy who is working on self. I love, by the way, how you took this pip on the chin and said, you know what? I'm just going to rally. Maybe there's some truth to this. Maybe there's some wrong perceptions of this. At the end of the day, the person who wrote the report perceives me as being off. I need to make sure they do not perceive that anymore. So if I'm doing things in the shadows that need to be brought to light, let me do better at that. I need to get better at self-promotion. So I love that you're willing to put that work in. When it comes to relationships, it's tempting to do what you just did. A lot of people have had this idea. It is not novel. But for the general audience, I don't love people pursuing it because let's unfortunately use
Pandora's
Jeff.
box.
Yeah, let's use Jeff as an example. I don't think Jeff came out of this learning something. I think Jeff came out of this getting his heart punched a shit ton of times. And I don't think he walked away saying, wow, I really get it now. I don't think so. I think he got some feedback that he said was kind of useful. I'll bet you we could have gotten pretty close to that same level of epiphany without going through this experiment. I really think that was possible.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that you did learn some things. And your question was about how do I go through that process of change? Usually I agree awareness is step one. So noticing, okay, when I first meet somebody, I am smitten. I get caught really excitedly and I bring a lot of energy and I want to move things quickly and I'm scared of losing them. And so I'm trying to show commitment signals to like keep them and to keep them invested in me because, people seem to like that. And so I move things along really quick and I'm hoping that the momentum will kind of carry us through anything that might stop the relationship. All right. We need to play willing to fail because you're playing scared. And so that is something you should probably work on in therapy when you approach relationships, pacing them and being prepared that you may not have the momentum to keep it and they may get disinterested or the dating game in America blows and they may just be like, yeah, I'm talking to 5 other people and I pick somebody else. And like that really sucks. And I know that that's going to hurt, but going through that process with intent, talking through the dating process while you're experiencing it, that's how I think we really identify who you currently are, what your patterns are presently, and advice on how to navigate that in a way that's going to be better for you overall.
Yeah.
How to improve the functioning.
There you go.
Feel free to write us a letter if you want some surveys. I think we could do that.
Whose ex is coming on first? We didn't text him yet for our exes to come on.
Yeah.
I'll delete. I'm gonna unsend
That
that
must be
message.
in another text thread.
I'm gonna unsend that
Well, I have a
message.
text thread with all of Nick's exes that I keep for emergency purposes.
For health
The
reasons.
time is now.
It's really just health reasons. I keep in touch.
I also work part-time for the Southern Nevada Health District.
Number 33 is chewing through the beaker. Oh, sorry. I got to take this. Ha! He makes memes.
Wow, that's in our apartment.
What?
Oh, this is great.
That's
How
all
do
you
we even
get as a
have these
glimpse.
photos?
Oh, yeah.
That's in our apartment
Oh,
from
these
New
are
Year's
nice.
Eve.
I love
Oh,
the genuine hurt in Nick's
I
voice.
love it.
Oh, I love it.
What?
You can dish it, but you can't take it.
Let's try. I'm
take
gonna
it,
send you
I'm
some more
fine.
You're
pics
doing
of
great,
Nick.
he said.
That's cool.
Your voice is getting a lot higher when you say
This is
that.
wonderful. I love it. Love you guys. This is a great bit. It's good bit. It's really funny. It's really funny. I'm having a good time.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about undeserved guilt. You're listening to Pod Therapy.
Today's episode is brought to you by Ben Dunn, Malia, Richard Macy, Sonny Boy, Samantha Cone, Thunder Cougar, Falcon Scoop, Slurpee K Motherfucker, and Sandra McWaffle. Would you like to sponsor the show? Become a therapy producer at patreon.com/therapy.
It's a good meme. It's a really good meme.
Meme is so.
Oh, I'm questioning, do I put these on the Discord
I
channel?
haven't laughed this hard in a while.
I think I
Okay.
probably do. I think these all go on the Discord.
Jacob, you're up.
Okay.
Okay, let's get a point this time.
You
No,
can
we'll
do it,
see.
buddy.
We'll see.
All right. Here we go. So I'm just breaking my mic stand here. All right. Jesus Christ.
Well, don't let it shake you, buddy. Just roll through the punches. You're doing great.
Here we go.
Thanks for that.
Hark! Stay thy hand, and in fellowship lend thine ear. Ice hath returned with a novel contrivance here. A force doth grip me tightly, strong and bright, following as a harpoon doth day and night.
I got it.
Shall it e'er cease? Forsooth I cannot say. Quench thy light, and lo, I shall brightly display.
Hell yeah.
To the utmost I wield the mic like a like a rogue in flight, illuminating the stage and waxing a fool like a candle's light. Dance, make haste to the speaker that doth resound. I do beseech thee, mind as a poisonous mushroom is found.
Oh, so good.
That is, of course, Under Pressure by David Bowie.
Oh,
Correct. I'm going to give you a point for
give
that.
it to him.
Wow.
I'm going to give you that.
I think you
I'm
give
gonna
him
give you
that. Do you know what it is, Whitney?
Is it Vanilla Ice?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
Ice Ice
Yeah.
Baby.
Baby.
But Under Pressure and Ice Ice
They
Baby
do.
have
They have like the same little
yeah.
doom doom.
Yeah, no, Ice got
that's
sued
true.
for that.
No, man.
Yeah.
Mine has that little.
he
Oh,
did
yeah,
get
no, it
it.
was a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a whole thing.
It was.
Under pressure.
All right, Whitney.
Okay.
As I doth journey through death's shallow glen, I ponder my life, finding naught but barren den. For long have I reveled and mocked, it seems. Even my mother deems my mind adrift in dreams. Yet never have I wrought a man unjust. To treat me as a weakling, that's an act robust. To heed in words and paths where doth tread. Let you and comrades find yourself at death's cold bed. I abhor this game, yet I must. I abhor this game. That fucking throws me off. I abhor this game, yet must play my part. As life's flame dims, I see myself in the pistol's art. I am a man whom youths aspire to be, on knees at night, praying under the moon's decree.
Oh, so fucking good. It
was
crushed
good.
it. It
Yeah.
crushed it.
think
Nailed that
I
one.
know
I know it.
It's about to go into a chorus, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let Whitney fuck it up. But
Is
this is
Gangster's
really
Paradise?
good. God
It is.
damn it!
Yes.
The only way I got it was that last line.
I'm the
I
kind of
literally
G
was
the
lost.
little homies wanna be
Yes.
like on my knees in
In
the night saying prayers in the street light.
That's the only way I got it because I was like, I'm lost.
Dude, that is so good.
Living in the gangster's paradise.
Wah, wah, wah.
Okay.
If I'd have put the chorus in there, it would have given it away.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be too much. Yeah, no,
That's
you're
fair.
doing it the
No,
right
I
way.
was lost literally
Yeah.
until the last line. I was like, I don't
Okay.
know.
I had it on
have
Valley.
spent the vast majority of our lives living here in
Bye,
this
gangsta.
ne'er-do-wells utopia.
You probably got it.
Well
Yeah,
done,
probably-
Thank
Jacob.
you.
Yeah.
He sent that in the group text.
All right. Here we go. Jim.
These texts are great.
If only Nick could see him.
Yeah.
He'll be
Somehow.
fine.
Now I know what the audience goes through.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Inside jokes.
Yeah.
All right. Lady donned apple-bottom jeans, boots
Okay.
graced by fur. The
Okay.
entire club beheld her, that's for sure. She dropped to the floor in a move so deft. Lady descended, low,
Lady.
low, 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 left.
It didn't know what to do
In
with
baggy
this.
sweatpants and Reeboks with straps.
With the strap.
She turned, giving her ample posterior gentle taps. She dropped to the floor in movements deft.
The ample
Lady descended,
posterior.
low, 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 left.
So they got low, 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 low.
What's the name of the song?
Man, actually don't know the song titles. This is gonna be a struggle here. The Reeboks with the strap, Shorty got low. It's probably called Shorty Got Low. Is it?
Final answer?
Oh fuck. Apple bottom jeans, boots with the fur. Yeah, let's go with Shorty Got Low.
No, it's just low.
Just yeah.
But you're
I
giving him
thought it
under
was-
pressure?
I thought it was coming to the next one.
Nope, I'm.
Oh, what's that on your
Oh, yeah,
screen,
you're right.
Jacob?
I thought it was about to come to me.
Hey, what the hell?
Yeah, no, fuck him.
Oh,
Oh yeah. Oh, no, he's got
All
the
right,
whole.
all right, that's fine.
Yeah, he's got the thread on the
fine.
screen.
That's fine. You know what? I'm taking away points for everybody. That's fine.
You're
No
giving-
one gets points.
Yeah.
No points this round.
Everybody loses. I win. I think I know what your exes broke up with you for. You just can't take that joke. How come he gets under pressure, but I don't fucking
Under
get?
pressure.
I'll
Shorty
give
Got-
it to you.
All right,
I'll
accept.
give it
I
I
accept.
obviously
Jeez.
got Ice Ice Baby.
Yeah, he
Nope.
knew it was. I didn't get that point.
Nope.
No.
No,
Yeah.
that's not what I.
He
heard.
got the reference below the reference.
He did.
Yeah.
Honestly, he deserves 2
I think I'm
points.
still
if
ahead.
anything.
Agreed. I have 2 points.
Shit. Tie game.
Okay.
Whitney's in the front.
I think I'm in ahead by
three.
one.
Oh no, Whitney's definitely still ahead.
Yeah. Is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last question. Undeserved guilt from Wayne Geo.
Wayne.
Also from Hey Buddy, nice podcast. Hi there, Nick, Whitney, Jacob, and Mr. Jim. Just a bit now. I'm not really sure where to start with this question. It's about dealing with undeserved guilt and learning to trust therapists. I'm not too bothered.
We probably haven't helped with
I
that.
know, we've only ruined these. I'm not too bothered about anonymity, as I've spoken about this publicly to some degree. Good, because I read your fucking name. I'll try to keep it brief and focus on the main points, as a lot of the history would just be world building and time consuming. When I was 17, I was accused of a crime I didn't commit. I'm 38 now. It's tough for me to talk about the actual accusation in all situations, whether it's to people I trust or in therapy, mostly because it's embarrassing and I'm always concerned people won't believe me, especially therapists. Without going into too much detail, my legal aid lawyer advised me to plead guilty, as it would be easier than going to court. So, against my better judgment, that's what I did. I was sentenced to complete an 18-month community-based order. The CBO was basically going to a building every week or so to check in and attend therapy at the same time. So this led me to having trouble dealing with guilt in all situations, regardless if I've done something wrong. It started directly after sentencing when I spoke with the court clerk and they told me even if I am innocent, because I pled guilty, I have to accept that and wear that label. Attending that CBO and therapy sessions was tough because I was under the impression I had to act guilty. So, when asked why I did it, rather than explaining the truth, all I had for a response was, I don't know. Eventually, I told the therapist I was innocent and only gave a guilty plea based on my lawyer's advice. The therapist said outright they didn't believe me. And to make any progress, I had to be totally honest with him and myself. This was the first mental health professional I'd seen, and has shaped my impression of and affected my ability to successfully get anything out of therapy. Carrying, around the guilt of something I didn't do affects many aspects of my life. I'm going to mute my phone for a second.
I didn't realize that would come through too. That was me sitting it to everyone so that on the next break, Nick can see the text thread. Would have fun on the next break. I didn't mean for that to make noise in the middle of you reading it.
That's my fault. Carrying around this guilt of something I didn't do affects many aspects of my life. Some examples: getting work has been hard and embarrassing when I need to give a police clearance. I also need a visa to enter the United States and have to relive the trauma again, retelling the details to a stranger in an authoritative position. This past year has been rough. February of 2023, I had to work across the road from the courthouse I attended, and that started a spiral. I have a history of self-harm and a suicide attempt, so working around sharp objects and on roofs led to many intrusive thoughts. I left my job fairly quickly. It also made other minor stressors intense and compound on the depression. An example being put together the comic book for Piff. Something that should have been exciting turned into a breakdown. I've been to a new therapist for the first time in years, but gave up when I felt like no progress was going to happen and intrusive thoughts about them not believing me kicked in. The feeling of lack of progress always occurs, and I'm sure it's common. Even when I tell them I want to focus on dealing with the guilt, it seems to never be addressed. I'm only ever told to employ CBT techniques, which for me is only good in the moment. For example, if I go for distraction, the moment I stop my distraction technique, I'm immediately back to depression. Every therapist I've seen has also told me something along the lines of, I can't help you, or you have a lot going for you, you shouldn't be depressed.
Oh.
So, do you have any advice with learning to trust a therapist? And is there anything I can say to them when they tell me they can't help? Do you have any advice for dealing with guilt, not just in relation to this, but also oversized guilt in other situations? Thanks, Wayne. Pronouns are he and him.
Do they not? They must not have no contest.
So
Pleading
that's
no
one of the
contest.
first things I thought of.
So for any listener that maybe in your country, if you don't have this, but there's an option in America where you don't have to plead guilty, you can plead no contest, which essentially means that you're not admitting guilt, but you're recognizing that in court you couldn't defend it.
Yeah.
But there still is going to be, like, the judge doesn't
You're found guilty,
rule you
so-
as no contest.
Yeah,
You're
but that's
pleading-
still, but that's
we do
your
that
plea.
to parking tickets. Like, if you're accused of a real crime, like Trump couldn't have pled no contest, and then he goes down in the history book says no contest Trump. Like, you're going to get innocent or felony, right? So like you're going to it's going to be arbitrated ultimately.
Well, I think at that point, I don't know. We're not legal experts. But
I'm not a legal expert, but having worked with kids in the juvenile system, which sounds similar to Wayne, I did have a client who pled no contest, and this was interesting because this re-triggered like a lot of memories of working with that kid. And what it is it's kind of like, in my opinion, like in Trump's situation, if there's evidence against you, they're not going to allow you to plead no contest. They're like, no, we got you.
You need
you
to
serve
defend
your
yourself or go along.
This is more like, okay, having worked with sex offenders, for example, this person said you did something. Maybe they don't have additional evidence, but they have this allegation. And so they're coming to you saying...
They don't have DNA evidence, but they have a credible allegation.
You're going to have to defend yourself or no contest and we move on.
It's a little bit muddy waters. So they're like, we can take this to court and it might go for in your favor, it might not, or you could just plead no contest where you're not going to fight it and you're going to serve like whatever you need to do, but you're not admitting guilt.
That's the thing. I feel like no contest is kind of what I don't fucking know.
Not a legal
somebody
person,
write in and explain to us how we're wrong.
Yeah.
But to me, my thought on it is that no contest is kind of like a plea deal. You know, like on TV they do plea deals and stuff, where it's like, if you plead no contest to this, you're going to get 6 months probation and 20 hours of community service.
Right.
If you go to court and you get found guilty, you could end up being in prison for 3 years.
What sucks about this, and I think the thing that really breaks my heart is the other day this happened, and I think that I suck at the fact that I have a naive vision of our profession sometimes.
That's not the only way you suck.
I suck in other ways. Yeah. One way in which
Don't sell yourself
of the many
short.
of the many. I think over the 7 years of the show, this is an area that I've personally grown. For a long time in the show, I always took the posture of never badmouth a therapist, never shine a light on ineffective therapy, because there's somebody in that audience that was about to get help, and I don't want that to be the episode that casts doubt on it or makes it too complex, because their job is very simple. They just need to show up and give it a try. And I never want the complexities of the reality of this thing to scare them, right? Like, just like if you hear about cancer treatments not working and somebody with cancer is like, well, then what's the point? It's like, hey, man, that's not your job. You need to show up and do your best, right? But over the years, I think I've matured in this way that I've begun doing better about allowing myself to be open about the fact that I am sometimes surprised at how bad therapists can be. I've met so many good ones, and I think I've just had the luxury of meeting really great people that I think are really gifted clinicians. But I hear about this person that Wayne met as a young man, court-ordered therapy, which we've both provided. Mm-hmm. All three of us have provided, absolutely. And to have them tell you in confidence, look, I really didn't do this. And then to not afford them unlimited positive regard and instead try to correct them, be like, yes, you did, and you need to accept that.
Right.
It is just, there is a universe where I can see that play to break through specific denials in very complex situations, but it's almost never the job of the therapist to do it.
Well,
the judge fucking did that.
It seems like it might be in the therapist's purview of doing it if the therapist had some knowledge of the situation.
Maybe, but really, you're there to...
Like if Whitney comes to me for therapy, and Whitney says to me one day, I did this illegal thing. I littered and was ticketed for littering.
Right.
And then the next day you come in and say, I wasn't really littering. I dropped it. I did this. I pled guilty to littering because of this. And then I have that knowledge because you've already told me about this.
You did this.
You littered, Whitney. You shouldn't have.
You're struggling with accepting that you are a litterer.
That's it.
Right.
It seems like if you have that now, if you know that your patient,
there's evidence.
If you know that your patient,
you know what, you make a good point.
Then you can kind of push back on them.
Yeah.
If you don't have that knowledge, then why push back?
That's a good point. And then I want to temper then my conclusion that I was fearful this was a bad therapist. I think you make a really good point, Jacob, that given the context, maybe they did mean no harm. I mean, I'm sure they meant no harm.
Sure.
Maybe that wasn't necessarily the bad move.
Yeah. My opinion on this is that when I hear Wayne share, this was my first encounter with a therapist, and at 17, sure, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And you're going into this hey, therapy is supposed to be something helpful and help me work through things and whatever else. when we're talking about some form of court-appointed therapy, I just want to throw out there, it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It's just different. When I was doing treatment with juveniles who had sexually acted out, I was doing a different kind of therapy. I'm using therapy in quotes because it is very different than I am with my clients in private practice.
Yeah.
Now, me personally, I did really work hard to try and give the clients I worked with when, working with SOs, like give them that unconditional positive regard, because I knew that building rapport was the only way to get them to feel comfortable trying to open up and actually work through issues. But that is not every therapist. And I did see a lot of clinicians who would take that route of almost enjoying that type of work because it is a little more black and white. It's like, hey, here's your workbook. Hey, we're going through this step. Kind of like AA. Like, this is comfortable for me as a clinician, and we just work through the treatment plan, like the
program.
Yeah, the program. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, like the curriculum, and this is how it all plays out. Versus like true therapy in an outpatient setting as an adult is a lot more dynamic, and they're going to try and meet you where you're at. One question I did have was, you said you've been meeting with a newer therapist for the first time in years. I wasn't really clear on if you actually told this new therapist about it and you're now thinking, do they not believe me? Or are you saying I'm worried about telling my new therapist because they may not believe me? I couldn't really
those
decipher.
New therapists definitely heard something to which they responded, I can't help you, or just told. It sounds like depression. It sounds like Wayne opened up about depression, self-harm, and previous suicidality, and they're saying either I can't help you or you shouldn't be depressed because you have a lot going on for you.
Right. So that's where I want to make sure it's clear, because if you are hiding that from them, they may feel like they can't help you because they don't know why you're feeling or where that root is, like, and I'm not blaming you, because as a therapist, I would really try and dig in and discover that. It depends on my rapport with the client. I, just being vulnerable, like I've had clients who've kind of been like, hey, I came in here to work on this and I don't feel like we've been working on that. I feel like we have some, but they wanted to work on it a different way than what I was doing. So it's like, okay, well, we'll try this different angle then, because they were honest with me about that. But if you're feeling like your therapist is not adjusting to you, that is a challenge. But I just wanted to make sure you'd actually shared that with them, and they're still saying that.
Shared that this previous experience had happened, and it's made me
from when you were
distrustful of
17,
therapists, which we're very used to hearing, by the way. There's been lots of people that went through JSO, went through programs, went through foster care, and they're like, I don't trust therapists. You're forced into therapy as I was forced into therapy, and that person basically ratted me out, and that's why I haven't gotten therapy.
They talked to my foster parents. They talked to my parents.
Right.
They
or
told my probation
I had a PO,
officer.
And it turned out that person really wasn't on my side. And there's a lot of distrust of therapy. Knowing about that as a therapist is really helpful, I think, because then you go, okay, I need to approach you very differently, constantly looking for check-ins on, are we okay? Are you okay? And also looking for permission to pull the thread a little bit more sometimes if I sense that it's there.
Yeah.
But making sure like, hey, I think I see a thread. I'd like to pull it, but I want to do that with your permission. Is it okay to open up about this? They might say, I'm not ready to. Like, great, can we revisit this in the future? And like that establishes trust, where they kind of felt like, okay, you asked my permission, you really are in my corner. Maybe I will let you in. Yeah. But it takes a lot to get there.
Well, I was just thinking too, like, the idea of like the therapist saying, well, I can't help you. And I think this is one of the things that you kind of learn. They don't teach you right away in therapy school. You kind of learn on the job as you get into it a little bit more. But like this idea of like, because I think we have this, everybody kind of goes into this with this idea of like, well, for me to be able to help my client, they have to open up about X, Y, and Z. So if you're not willing to open up about this, then I can't help you. And I hear beginning therapists, kind of younger therapists, say that and then think like, okay, that's it. End of the line. If you don't open up, then I can't help you. And then I think as you get older and more experienced, then you start questioning, well, why aren't they opening up? We need to go a little bit deeper into that. what's going on, because then that still comes back to me as the therapist.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm not creating an environment in which this person feels free to open up.
That is a really important point because I've
Two of
noticed
them in one show,
You're
everybody.
crushing it, buddy. Yeah. In fact, I'm leaving the shit talk Nick thread. I'm done. All right, I'm
Jim
done.
has
I'm not
left
done,
the
guys.
thread.
Keep me in the thread. No, but like this comes back to something that you and I, and we've talked about this on the show before, that philosophically, I think we are in a camp of therapists that says if you're bumping into a patient who's not giving themselves to this process, they're not participating, you have work to do, not them right away. And you have many avenues of doing that. You could call it out, if you feel like that's the play, or motivational interviewing could be deployed to try to bring them in closer. But you've used that word as what other therapists call resistance. You've termed feedback, I think. They're just teaching you.
Yeah.
That door's locked. Try another.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's really on you, not to walk away and be like, fine, if you don't want me to paint your goddamn house, then unlock your fucking doors. Like, no. I'm supposed to be the behavioral health expert.
Yeah.
You're the broken, scared person who brought yourself in here each week and keeps showing up. I'm supposed to be the one to figure out how to crack the safe.
Yeah, because it's really easy for the therapist, because if the person's not opening up, then therapy is not going how you saw it going in your head. Right. It's like, well, this isn't the brochure. This wasn't on the brochure. This isn't the movie that I pictured therapy being when I decided to be a therapist. This is not going how I want it to go. Therefore, it becomes really easy to just say, well, you're not opening up.
Right.
I'm going to wash my hands of you. I'm going to work.
Come
with
back
other
when
clients.
you're ready.
Exactly. And it's
I
like,
hate
well,
stuff
no,
like that.
this is where you got to roll up the sleeves a little bit and you got to change your approach.
Yeah.
I've never had respect for colleagues that do that, but boy, do they respect themselves. They tell those stories. They just at the water cooler. So I told them, you're not ready. You come back when you are. You did? Damn right I did. Because I know what it takes. And like, you're a fucking tool.
Yeah.
Like, you're really bad at this. Like, you couldn't outthink the shy patient?
Yeah.
Really? Like,
Right.
that was your stop?
Right.
Like, your stop sign was persons too shy? Jesus Christ. Like,
Yeah.
you can only do therapy with people that wrote their own biography and like gave it to you to read? Like, come the fuck on.
But I think it would be important maybe to start with just trying to separate as much as you can, like that type of therapist who's working with the court system.
Yeah.
And their goal may be, what they say about Nick, no. But working with the court system, like when we talk about CBT, I almost want to talk about that as being a challenge more than you sitting thinking like that was a therapist and they said these harmful things and it was, not helpful at all. And now that's therapy. Like try really hard to remember like that clinician, I'm going to call them a clinician.
Yeah.
That clinician was kind of maybe following the script, following the coursework of like probably 98% of people that go through there.
Yeah.
And let me just share, that is a tough place to be in. And you're absolutely valid in that I hear this all the time where people will go into the system, they're accused of something, and they plead guilty because that is the lesser sentence. They'll give you an easier sentence.
It's easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. You get a lesser sentence, you get a reduced sentence.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go through the process.
Yep.
The process is now over.
Yeah. My younger brother went through that at 19. He went in there, pled guilty to something he didn't believe that he did, and he got like probation for 4 years. Now he violated probation and then had to serve, but like that was on something different. But like it was something that could have been a 10 to 20 year sentence in prison, and he got 4 years probation for like just pleading guilty.
Yeah.
So he did what he was told to do by his lawyer.
Right.
So I think that like, I just want to tell you, I know you're sharing like that was against my internal drive, and I feel for you there because listening to family go through that is a really, really, really tough thing to do at a young age, at 17, 19.
And then to have to wear that.
And now you wear it the rest of your life.
They warn you, hey, whether you did it or not, this is stapled to your forehead.
Right.
Yep.
So you may as well get used to that being an identity marker.
Yep.
And having to live with permanent guilt.
Yep.
With the extra confusion that you actually didn't do it, which is kind of where Wayne comes to at the end of the question where he says, look, whether a person has misplaced guilt like I do, or whether they really have true guilt, if it's wrong size in their life and it's an obstacle, how do humans deal with this? And I want to speak for a minute on that question and also some advice, because I am constantly surprised to discover how many students, interns, and colleagues listen to our show.
Oh.
It is really surprising.
Okay.
Like it keeps showing up. This past year, probably no less
one's
than
come
a
up to
dozen.
me.
Yeah, have just messaged and said
I get
like,
it.
hey, you know, I'm a therapist. I love the show. And I always
Oh.
think like, gosh, I don't know that I could do it. But I think it's great that people listen. But if you are a student, intern,
I don't know if I could listen to podcasts.
yeah, in general, if you are a student or a colleague out there, I just want to take a second to just really use this this letter to underline something. And this is something I'm seeing with my students at the university that I'm constantly trying to get them to stop doing. They tend to follow the manual. They print out the damn CBT workbook. And these are literally called manuals, and they are scripted. If you ever download one, which I don't recommend, but all of the grad students out there, all the colleagues, you've had to look at them. And they are literal manuals. And they say, like, the patient, you will tell the patient this, then you need to help them understand this, and here's this diagram, and here's what they need to get, and here's this essay you can help them write, here's these prompts, and if they go in this direction, you do this move. And
So it's step 1, step 2,
It's
step 3. If
formulaic.
step 3 works, then go to
So,
step 4. If step
what
3 doesn't work, then go back to step 2.
What
And,
do you recommend for that? Or like, how do you teach somebody? Like kind of
You-
what Nick said, when you're new, you are following that manual. Like how
Yeah.
much can you be taught versus like learn on the
the
job?
recently deceased Sue Johnson, who invented emotion-focused therapy.
And just so we're clear, we did not have anything to do with the death of Sue Johnson.
Yeah. That probably needs
I just
to
want to make that
Dr.
very
Sue?
clear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not
Yeah.
directly.
No one on this show had
Yeah.
anything
Nothing to do with
whatsoever
it.
to do with the
Jacob,
death
why are you
of
winking?
Sue
Yeah.
Johnson.
Yeah.
A lot of winking.
Why are you
No one.
licking your lips?
No one on this show.
I mean,
Why is there
it's-
blood
why are
on
you
your
crossing your
hands?
fingers? There's a lot of things going on right now. It's very confusing. Sue Johnson said, therapy is not information, it is an experience. And the mistake a lot of clinicians make, I think I'm seeing that mistake in Wayne's letter. Here I am trying to talk to them. They try to teach me another CBT trick.
Yeah.
And it's like, Wayne needs to encounter all of this in a safe emotional place with a bonded, safe guide. CBT and the other cool tricks that we know can be woven in, but they need to be woven in invisibly as strategies of reflection, not as named techniques formulaically presented. That intellectualizes what a person's going through and takes them out of the feeling. It takes them out of encountering the emotion and the fear and the cathartic release of crying it out and talking through this in a really broken, sensitive, scared kind of way. And instead it brings them back to an intellectual surface where we go, hold on, stop feeling, take a deep breath. Okay, what I need you to do, take the thought to court. Let's rationalize this. Now, look, I love CBT. It's gotten me out of many a panic attack.
Yeah.
But guilt, trauma, things like this that are memory-based, emotion-based, I don't think I want to use that pack of techniques right away. I think people are going that direction because he's telling them he has depression.
Yeah.
But they're not realizing the depression is woven through an existential reality of pain, guilt, and trauma, and an identity problem there. Knowing that, I would, if the therapist came to me and said, hey, what's the move here? I would say, we're going to do this trauma-focused style. I don't want you intellectualizing this using a goddamn manual. I want you to find and orchestrate and facilitate a therapeutic encounter, and the treatment plan is to have an experience with Wayne where Wayne confronts these feelings and he holds them. And hopefully he reaches a place where he can find hot tears around this and he can forgive himself. How do you deal with guilt? Same course of treatment that you deal with trauma. You ultimately get to a place where you encounter the you that went through these problems, these bad experiences. And there is an understanding, a processing, an acceptance, a forgiveness. And that transcends intellect. You can't read a book and achieve it. You have to crawl into the dark cave of the soul, and you have to go on this journey with this other person. And they're meant to be able to pull you out whenever that's what you need, but also to take you through it. And so that's what I think's been lacking. I think all of his experiences have been with people that are very formulaic, very manualized, They're just doing the things that the book says to do, and they're telling him it's on page 5, do page 5.
Yeah.
And no wonder it's not giving him anything.
I really need you to say this thing, otherwise I don't know where to go from here.
Yeah, if you don't respond
I'm
with
stuck.
A, I can't do anything with B.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't help you.
Well,
and that's a shame.
I like kind of what you're like teetering onto is just using if CBT isn't working, it's not working. Like find a different approach and sharing that with
You
your
CBT harder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really dig in, like Jim said.
You're not CBTing enough.
Yeah.
I don't think it's working. You're not working.
Yeah.
You're the problem.
Yeah,
CBT
you're the problem.
never fails. Jesus, this thing's gotten out of control.
But I kind of like that approach, maybe trying to talk to your therapist and share that, yes, I'm having this depression and that was something that I thought was what brought me in, but really I had a traumatic experience and I need to address that trauma, and try sharing that and seeing like what the response is if you're still seeing that therapist. And if not, then maybe
the guilt you're
reaching out.
describing to me is very adjacent to the way we describe trauma.
Yeah.
That you went through this experience at a young age and it has overshadowed all of your encounters with people since then, the way you see yourself. It causes you to feel spikes of anxiety whenever you're near the proximity of the trigger of the location where the event happened. This is pretty fucking textbook.
Yeah. I was going to say I think I've mentioned it on here at least once before, but there's another podcast that I love.
We don't talk about other podcasts.
I
Whitney.
know.
It's in your NDA.
But I recommend starting from the beginning because it's been around for years, like since 2014, I think was the first episode. But go back to 2014. The first episodes are like 15 and 20 minutes. They're really short.
What's
but,
the podcast?
It's called The Adult Chair. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it when I'm working with clients who need to find space to like forgive themselves and like give themselves grace.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially about reparenting yourself.
Yeah.
And you as the adult Wayne looking back at that child, that 17-year-old child,
Yeah.
and kind of retraining that interaction and reframing it from the brain that you have now. That's like,
that's interesting.
That's profound.
It's really cool. There's a few certain client
Is
of
it
client I'll work
the
with.
Gestalt open chair technique? Is that what they're doing?
It reminds me of that, but it's more about the id ego and super
Okay.
ego. So it's like child,
Psychoanalysis
adolescent, and adult
Oh, okay.
chair.
Transactional analysis. Yeah. that is
Yeah.
profound.
It's really cool. I mean, it's a lot, but I like that podcast
Yeah.
because it breaks it down really easy and short in the beginning and just explains to you what it is. And then the clinician who leads it kind of gives examples. And
That's great.
it's a really cool podcast for just little bits and not super prolonged and helpful. Anyway, I recommend it.
Wayne, this is a great question. And you know what? I really appreciate you. You know, you've been on our show. You've been a guest on our show. We've thrown to you guys a bunch of times. We've been on your show. I mean, I think it's really one of my favorite things that Pod Therapy has magically been able to do. I think owed in large part to Ice Cream Social is podcasters opening up about mental health and normalizing that conversation. Which I think is important. I think no matter what the topic of your podcast, no matter what you're doing, boy, do I like it when people that have some public presence speak in an honest way about this. It's brave. It isn't easy to do.
It is.
It's hard when we all do yucks and we keep people entertained, and then to like break that fourth wall and really be vulnerable and honest and give people a chance to learn from your history, your story, and your humanity. I admire you, man. I'm really glad you did it, and I hope you won't give up on this process.
Yeah.
I guess the approach that I would want you to take in the future is to start with a conversation of, I think I struggle with depression and I have things in my life that look a lot like that. I also think there's a strong interlaced story of trauma and guilt.
Yeah.
And I'd like to do really
Start with
meaningful work there. And I think when therapists hear that, it very much changes the lanes we're driving in.
Trauma is the key word there because
Gotta
I
use
hear
that
that
word.
Wayne was saying like guilt, but maybe they just weren't fully understanding.
Guilt
you know?
and I feel depressed makes me think like we need to reframe cognitive distortions.
Yes, it really does. If
Yeah.
someone came in just with those,
You
yeah,
give me those two words and I go, oh yeah, I got a playbook for that.
totally.
You know, or I feel anxious sometimes around the courthouse because I feel guilty from this time. Like, again, I'm framing that as anxiety, GAD, let's use cognitive behavioral. But again, I don't think it's that. I think that you're going to get way better mileage out of an approach that says trauma focused.
Yeah.
And when therapists hear that, we go, oh,
That
they throw the
switches.
book aside and they go, they light a torch and they go into the tunnel.
Let's
go.
get in there.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's go. We're
Yeah.
going through the 9 fucking levels of hell, and we're going to keep going until you come out of this with peace.
Yeah.
And that's really what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And that's a different approach.
Yeah, I like that.
Good luck, Wayne.
Stay in contact with us. Let us know how this goes.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm just going to text him. He's on my Fuck Nick thread.
Oh, good.
We added
Dear
Wayne.
Oh, I'm glad we're adding people. That's great.
Yeah.
Fuck Nick, am I right?
I just saw the new one.
This fucking... Oh, this one's so good. Oh, wow. Oh, this is great.
I didn't know you could make memes so fast, Jacob.
Oh.
Jacob's very good at what he does.
He is...
He's
He
doing
has a
nothing
gift.
over there.
He has a gift. These are great.
I especially like the last one. I'm pretty happy.
The
with that
last
one.
one's very good, but the Nick who looks like he just popped, like he's crawled through the desert
Yeah, he looks
and is
very
staring
dry.
in the distance.
It's this
It's
one.
this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
it's-
from Facebook.
That's a good one. Yeah, he is deep.
Yeah,
in
I'm
your-
just pulling
that's-
pictures off Facebook
yeah.
to take the backgrounds off.
Yeah,
That's all I'm doing.
yeah, it's very solid editing work. As we wrap up the show, we want to remind you can sign up at patreon.com/therapy. You can get our extended show ad-free a day earlier, as well as enjoy our live chat Discord community and our weekly deep dives, interviews, skill shares, research roundups, and rants. He's got it up on the big screen for you, Nick.
Oh,
There you go.
Those eyes.
that's creepy.
That is...
I did not like that.
Your beard looks good. I like
Oh,
your
the
beard.
beard's
now.
fine.
It's the
It
eyes.
looks really good.
Yeah.
It's crazy eyes.
Yeah.
We've got some new folks that have joined the Theraparty at
Yay.
patreon.com/therapy. Who's
We got a
new
new
to the bunch?
Therapal, Middle Z.
Middle Z.
Oh, that's
Welcome
funny.
to the Theraparty. We, of course, want to thank our benevolent, revered, generous, and flagrantly
Fragrant.
pro-therapy diehards who love you all so much that they give till it hurts, the Therapartners. Thank you, Dirty B, and thank you, Pickett. And we want to thank our bosses, the mysterious and shrouded Illuminati members of the fan club, the Theraproducers. Thank you, Jake Schneider, Myra, Robert Brownie Jr. Mint, Smitty Scoop, Ben Dawn, Judy Schneider, Kayla Lansbury, Mrs. and Mr. Hot Dog Scoop, Malia, Leon Kassab, Mason Miller, Richard Macy, Carolyn Albert, Kevin Chamberlain, Tess Miller, Sammy Scoop, Ben Stanley, Slapping Ya Face, Sarah Smith, Adam Hathaway, Byler T, Mike Helm, Paris, Samantha Cohn, Darren Cunningham, Lib, Team Monaco, Thunder Cougar Falcon Scoop, Matt and Lisa Tangeman, Heyo, Oscar Swanrose, A Sunny Boy, Slurpy Kai Motherfucker, Sandra McWaffle, Dan Martin, Hannah Marie, Andrew Langmead, Bug Nuts, and Emma Kane.
And if you would like to hear this episode uncut and unedited
And why wouldn't you?
and enjoy our spontaneous side projects, go to patreon.com/therapy. And thank you for supporting mental health.
That's all the time we got for this week's session. I want to thank our landlords, Matt Mattingly's Ice Cream Social Podcast, and thanks to those of you who contributed to our show today. We really appreciate it. Remember, Pod Therapy isn't something to keep all to yourself. Share the episode with the world. Tag us on the socials when you do. It's at PodTherapyGuys on Instagram and Facebook. You can also see young, all three of us, on both of those because I think it co-posted recently.
So young.
So young. 2018. Oh my God. And other social medias as well. Don't forget about all the extra goodies at patreon.com/therapy.
Do you want to submit a question to the show? Ask anonymously at podtherapy.net or email us at podtherapyguys@gmail.com. I'm Nick Tangeman.
I'm Whitney.
I'm Jim.
Thanks, and we'll see you for your appointments next week.
And remember, all of Nick's ex-girlfriends, it's podtherapyguys
Oh, they
at
all listen.
gmail.com.
Yeah.
They all listen.
Jim has his
for
group
sure.
text going.
I think that what we do is we make a Google Doc, or what is it? What's the survey thing? Google Sheet?